And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. Now earlier on today we of course covered a story with regard to Bradford, just outside Bradford College, as a knifeman attacked 4 people. Yes, just a normal day within the United Kingdom. And in that stream I was seeing a lot of comments saying, Dan, can you have a look at the bomb found, or the bomb scare and the bomb disposal team evacuating a street in Margate. And I was thinking, what? I didn't hear about that. And of course, after some digging, I've managed to come up and find a few bits and pieces with regard to Margate. And again, it's not every day that you see a street or streets evacuated and the scene's looking like this, with bomb disposal teams working out there, the military called out. And yeah, so at the time of recording, this of course happened yesterday. But we've got a bit more information now as over the last couple of hours after things have basically emerged. And essentially, a residential streets in Margate were evacuated. 4 streets were evacuated. And basically the MOD, the bomb disposal team, had came in as after reports of suspicious items being found. However, there is one interesting point. Now, whilst the cordon has been lifted off and residents have now returned back to their home, the EOD were there, and one arrest has actually been made, a teenage boy. However, at the time of recording, we don't currently know what suspicious items were found. And, of course, well, we know why he's been arrested. They're for firearms, so something dangerous has been found. But also, we don't know what this individual's motive was, what he was building there. And, of course, with being a teenager, we're probably not going to sort of get a face reveal or understand a motive as of yet. But in this live stream, I just want to go through some of the reports that we're currently seeing with regard to this. But just to not to alert anybody, this has now, of course, it happened over last night and into this morning, and now we've kind of got the bigger picture with regard to it. However, I just wanted to cover the story because it was only brought to my attention over the last couple of hours. So yeah, let's go over to some news articles, guys. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and get involved in the live chat. Let's go through what has been said with regard to this Margate evacuation, shall we? So as you can see here in this report here, so you're seeing it, cordon removed. This is an updated article. My goodness me, these ads on this website, for God's sake, I need to get an ad blocker or something. In custody after, cordon removed and teenager in custody after residents evacuated and bomb disposal called to a street in Margate. Now, a cordon has been removed and residents allowed to return home following attendance by emergency service and bomb disposal team at an address in Margate last night. A teenage boy has been arrested in connection with the incident. Now, this is stated by the police. The precautionary measure was taken after Kent police officers were called at around 4 p.m. to an address in Rosedale Road due to concerns raised about items contained inside a flat. A cordon was put in place and an explosive ordnance disposal team from the Ministry of Defence attended the scene, where they carried out a controlled explosion to make suspicious items safe. The EOD team completed inquiries at around midnight and determined it was safe for residents to return to their properties. Residents were evacuated from homes in 4 Margate streets: Rosedale Road, Glencoe Road, Wharfdale Road and Malham Drive. A welfare point was set up, and a teenage boy was arrested in relation to offences under Firearms Act and remains in custody pending further inquiries. Chief Inspector Ian Swallow says, "We appreciate this was an unusual incident, which left some residents directly impacted as a result. Thank you to those who were affected for their patience while we worked with the EOD to make the scene safe." Jesus. Let's go over to BBC. Let's see what they're saying with regard to this. A teenage boy has been arrested in relation to an offence under the Firearms Act after properties in Kent Town were evacuated due to a bomb scare. Police evacuated 4 streets after being called to Rosedale Road in Margate at about 4 o'clock on Wednesday, when suspicious items were discovered in a flat. People from homes in Rosedale Road, Glencoe Road, Wharfdale Road and Malholm Drive were taken to a local leisure centre and an explosive ordnance team was sent to the scene. All evacuees have since been allowed back to their homes and a police cordon has since then been removed. The teenage boy, as we know, remains in custody pending further inquiries. I mean, this stuff just comes out all of the time. I mean, that's quite a serious thing. Like, what was found? And why is this kid in custody? Let's go over to X and see. I mean, we've got some like witness statements, I think, from people on the ground. So let's have a little look on this one, what they're saying here.
In the afternoon, the residents had to be evacuated in the afternoon, and they had to be going around our other care home, which is the same company. So they were kind enough to help them out for the night.
Well, I was at work, and my girlfriend has phoned me and let me know that they've been evacuated, so I was pretty confused. She said that there was a bomb squad called on the street right next to me.
I noticed all the cars when I came in from work about 6 o'clock, all the police cars, police vans. Thought it was a bit strange. Came in, got on with some dinner. You came in, said you'd been talking to the neighbours and that there'd been a bomb scare, and I thought,
yes,
nah, that can't be right. It doesn't happen down here.
Usually it's really quiet. It's a little cul-de-sac where they live. Nothing really happens around here. That's why I was so shocked. As soon as I saw it on the news, I straight away messaged my colleagues, what is going on?
Probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock, there was a bang on the door. Firemen saying they were going to evacuate, and I thought, oh blimey, it is serious then.
It's just not right, is it? Getting bomb threats right near your house.
It's on your doorstep. You just don't expect things like that on your doorstep.
The resident.
Yeah, facts. Now, I've done a little bit of digging on X to always try and get some more reaction, but there is no real anything more than what we're talking about here. But let's see this one quickly.
In Margate, where residents are either waking up from a late night or returning to their homes after being evacuated yesterday evening following reports of suspicious items in one of the flats. Residents across 4 roads here were told of a bomb scare and given 20 minutes to leave their homes. One mother, who I just spoke to, had to pay £300 for a night in a travel lodge. She tells me her children are still really shaken up by what's happened. Most residents, I'm told about 40 to 50, were taken to Hartsdown Leisure Centre about 10 minutes away for safety. People were allowed back into their homes at around midnight. Police are still here investigating and have arrested one man in connection with the incident. I'm on a very...
So yeah, that person's a teenager. But I'm trying to get... Suppose to the street. Let me just go for another article there, because one I read about a controlled explosion on this website, as you can see here. Look, they carried out a controlled explosion to make a suspicious item safe. However, that was left out of the BBC article. Let's have a look on this one quickly. See if there was a controlled explosion. Maybe let's go to the Mirror. Here we go. A bomb squad descended onto a quiet seaside town and 4 streets were evacuated after items feared to be explosives were found. Officers raced to the scene in Margate, Kent on Wednesday evening, where one person was arrested in relation to the incident. Kent police said they received reports of suspicious items inside the flat on Rosedale, which was sealed off, and a bomb disposal team from the Ministry of Defence arrived to inspect the scene. So I want to see if there was this controlled explosion, because we've got that one account there and there, but I mean, I've never really heard of that website before, so I'm not too sure. As well as Rosedale roads, homes were evacuated in nearby Glencoe Road, Wharfdale. Officers said to move was a precautionary measure. Well, the precautionary measure, you know, in having a controlled explosion, if that was the case, wouldn't be right. This is local resident accounts. So I'm actually only seeing this controlled explosion thing from one report, and I don't know who that is. Let's try and see if there's any more in terms of this, if there's this controlled explosion, because that's a big part in this case, I suppose. But still, the one arrest made as investigations currently ongoing still tells you everything you need to know with regard to it. Something was going on, and the fact that the EOD were there, something seriously was going on with an evacuation. One man arrested as well. What was that kid doing in there? Building. We obviously heard about the situation with Axel Rudakubana, who was also doing stuff like that, a loner, and was doing stuff like that prior to his attack that he was doing, building stuff in the background, you know? Let's see what's happening on here. Oh, it's 3 minutes of just scenes there by the looks of things, and you're just seeing what's currently going on. I mean, I'm not going to bore you with that, but it's just images from the scenes as such. But yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, there's nothing really there in place, but I'm just trying to look for this other bits in terms of the story about a controlled explosion, because, I mean, maybe that's just a shitty source. And obviously I want to get the right information out to you guys. And I don't necessarily always trust BBC to give us what we need. So maybe let me try and go through the police statement and see if there was a controlled explosion. Margate bomb. Kent Police. Oh, it's gone. The page is gone. Interesting. Let's go on to the Kent Police again quickly and see if there's anything more. Why does John Cena follow Kent Police, by the way? What? So much stuff going on, isn't there? Here we go. So that was the latest police update. They said a cordon had been removed and residents were allowed to return home following a report property containing suspicious items in Margate. The precautionary measure was taken after Kent Police were called at around 4 p.m. on Wednesday, 8th of October, to an address in Rosedale. Concerns were raised about items contained inside the flat. A cordon was put in place. Explosive ordnance team from the Ministry of Defence attended the scene where they carried out a controlled explosion to make... Facts. A controlled explosion. So a controlled explosion did take place. Now, I'm no EOD expert, but what the F was going on in there? The EOD team completed inquiries at around midnight and determined it was safe for residents to return to their properties. A teenage boy was arrested in relation to offences under the Firearms Act and remains in custody pending further inquiries. So, a precautionary measure. I mean, what was found? I mean, I'm not too clued up on sort of bombs and shit, but what the heck was found? And what was he doing? A teenager. And he's still in custody now, so it must be serious. The fact that they're just saying it's a precautionary measure and all these things, I think something was seriously going on in there. I want interested to see what actually went down when they were actually pulling this in. So, I never heard of this site before, but they were the only ones, Isle of That News, that reported that there was a controlled explosion. BBC didn't. The Mirror didn't. And that was from the police statement. So there was a controlled explosion to make the suspicious item safe. Now, what was it, I may ask? Why is BBC always playing down stories for? Bullshit. So yeah. So that looks like it is that, really, in terms of the information that we've currently got. Of course, as always, we'll follow the story, see if anything comes of it. But again, knowing the authorities, we'll never really find out the full story, unfortunately. Even if this guy was a lunatic, we'll have to wait and see. Now, sometimes when I see these EOD things, we're talking and thinking about old World War II bombs discovered as such. But this doesn't look like it's the case. It was a suspicious item. High Roofing says, I don't know who this teenage boy was, but probably was an English white choir boy. They're so dangerous. Exactly. This is around the corner from me, says Margate Sites. Margate Sites, sorry. Is there any more information that we know about this? I mean, there's nothing there, to be fair. Antonio says this guy's making up stuff. Dude, I'm literally just going on to police statements. You literally see it right in front of me. How am I making stuff up, for God's sake? Do you know what I mean? I'm literally just going on a website on the police actual statements that you can see on the screen. Hardly making it up, am I? Madman. But yeah. But yeah, that was the story. That's all we've really got with it. If there's anything more that develops with regard to Margate, then be sure we'll let you know. But to conclude, for those of you just tuning in, Margate was evacuated, or 4 streets in Margate were evacuated last night. A suspicious package was found. And a controlled explosion was initiated by the EOD. At the time of recording, a teenager is currently in custody, was arrested, and at the time of recording is still in custody, as inquiries and further investigations are still ongoing. So do let me know your thoughts on all of this. And as always, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're really pushing towards 300,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. We're not very far away. 30k to go. Come and join the community. Why not? Anyway,